Gonna do a flip through. This is a lovely old cover, The Colonel's Daughter, and I've done one of my ribbon spines. This is some really lovely French wire ribbon that I have from my ribbon collection. I was in a ribbon club for like 10 years, and I have let's just say I have lots of ribbon. So I used the front piece, the title page, made a pocket. Have a little tiny journal in here. I picture these journals sort of like my little she journals. I think it would be wonderful to just cut out clips that you find in books, little sayings and words and phrases and poetic passages, and just glue them in there. Here, this journal is sort of comprised of a lot of pictures of women that I would consider to be possibly the Colonel's daughter. And here's a little vintage piece of paper. This page has a button and a little bit of Velcro to keep it so it doesn't flop all over. And you open it up, and here's a faux telegram. And in it, I have actually made a faux telegram. I sort of mimicked some telegrams that had this bluish ink. And in this one, I did a stanza from Tennyson's poem Maud, which is one of my new favorites. I actually have a little book right here. So that's fun. I do know that it's wonderful to have vintage ephemera, but I also think some of it's so fragile that it's fun to play with creating faux ephemera. Here's an envelope with some real ephemera that's kind of fun. Pear soap. I'm actually old enough to remember the tail end of pear soap. Let me just put that back in and slide that back up. Here's another vintage calling card. Came out of an old scrapbook that I found. And here again is another one of the little teeny journals that I think would be fun to fill with things. And here's an envelope I made from one of the front pieces of this book and filled it with some faux ephemera and an F. Scott Fitzgerald quote. It's kind of lovely. And here we have another Colonel's daughter. I like her. She reminds me of Anne of Green Gables. The pocket is made of muslin, lace, rice paper, and another envelope with just a little collection of words and handmade paper and ephemera bits. Fits right there in that envelope, goes right back in that pocket. I bought a big old piece of lace that was really a wreck, but the tiny little snippets are so lovely. Here's a tuck spot with a little miniature journal you can write in. Has paper, lined paper, and I think it's fitting for the Colonel's daughter to have her school notebook, her cahier. Another flip with faux ephemera and a tag with another Colonel's daughter, not general, Colonel. And here we have a large paper clip with a bezel attached. I love this girl. I love her half face. Some real ephemera. And another fold out, little pop up that I am going to put some words here. I haven't I haven't decided what words to use yet. And some more old pictures. I love finding pictures of young women. I find them in antique shops and online, and I wonder who are these young women that either don't have descendants anymore that want to keep their picture. It makes me a little sad, but I also love being able to give them a home in the pages of a book. This is another little journal, tiny one, thin and long. Be fun to write your thoughts in. And another thing I love to make are the biological sides, I call them, with these wonderful pressed flower stickers and a actual old calling card. Another envelope full of ephemera, new and old, in a little glassine bag. I love glassine bags. And here's another pocket with a cluster made up of new and old stamps, safety pins, watercolor paper. And here's a tag that I actually printed and put in there. These are tags that I designed myself. This is my design. You can, I picture people either doing little collages on the backs of these tags, writing little notes on the backs of these tags, attaching them with a paper clip perhaps to a meaningful picture. All the buttons are old, and here's a very old little clasp, a pin, that I picture on the throat of an old lace blouse. And here's another pull-up. I've got it with Velcro again so that it won't flop around. And some tags that I designed for a French journal I used to make when I originally started selling on Etsy. Another little handmade tag that you can write things on. And again, on one of my tiny envelopes with a little tiny card inside and a stamp, stapled. I love staples. This is a card from Luna Girl. It's one of my favorite digital cards. I use it a lot. I love the handwriting. And here is a very fun little journal that I made out of new ephemera. It's a digital printed ephemera that makes a lovely little, unique little journal to keep some records in. It's pretty, it's fun. Little coffee stain tag. Some more journal cards that I have designed myself, and another lost relative, found relative. I like them being called found relatives. I wonder who she was. And I love this lady on her horse. All these are the colonel's daughter, remember? And I like this Morocco stamp because wouldn't a colonel possibly be posted to Morocco and his daughter riding? And now here's a much more, it's a tea-stained journal. All the pages are tea-stained and wrinkled and have an old appearance, even though it's new paper. But this would be a good one to write your thoughts in, tuck away. And here we have a faux button card with actual vintage old rope string on it. It's old string. I can't remember where I found it, but it was old. And here's what I like to call my matchbook journals. They open and close like a matchbook. This one has paper you can write in. Has an old vintage, this is a really old vintage office paper clip from the 50s. It's fun. some more tags that some more journal cards that I designed. Another little bezel right here. This is another Luna Girl card that I love. It comes in the same digital page. Here's a fold out. I haven't filled that yet. That's yet to come. And this is yet to come. I'm still trying to figure out what to put in there. Some little bits. Lovely little old vintage paper from a book with a old poem on there. And another place I need to fill. And the last bookend has lines. You can actually write on there. The this jewelry box clasp makes a nice faux opener, gives it the aura of being a secret box, which I consider all of my journals to be secret boxes. Thank you.